Hi friends. Yeah, I'm a wizard or a magi or whatever you want to call me, I guess. I have a journal for you here that is more recent than the one I just recorded and uploaded. So it'll show you there's been some change. This is from 10/4, and it was the first one of that day. The Mayan day was 4 wind. And it's got a oh, I've added to it the promised conversation with the 12D ETs. It's not very long. I probably won't read it though. So you'll need to go click over to Scribed and check it out, see what you think. Okay, so here goes. Let me be sure I'm set up just right. All right. I'd like to share my heart and a few more links to some special videos that I hope will be a blessing for you. So, let's see what comes forth. Now remember, I almost never know. So, let's talk about emptiness. The vacancy from which the wonder of these journals originates. I'm not special. Or, more correctly, we are all tremendously special. So special we'll be shocked at first when we begin to find out, to remember, put ourselves back together. Are you ready to be special? Even that special? Well, mine doesn't handle this well. It's out of mine's league. The powers that were have gone to a great deal of effort to convince us we're nothing. We're worthless accidents of chaotic happenstance. Yeah, wrong. Time to ditch that whole song. The whole thing strikes a terrible note, discordant as can be. Do you know when you hear a lie? Do you feel it? More time spent in heart or centered and you'll discover your internal truth detector. It's the one whose flip side is the BS detector. The trick we weren't told is that to tune into these, one has to be in heart, not in mind. Why is that? Well, perhaps because minds can be programmed, and ours surely have. My guess is that roughly 98% or more of what we've been taught and told is incorrect, is false. But because we were programmed that way, those lies filtered down deep into the psyche, becoming our beliefs. One day we'll all remember that reality is created on the backs of our beliefs. Beliefs make up most of the substance of our perceived reality. So, if we believe in falsehoods, then the reality we create is shot through with illusion. So it cannot be truly real. Not a lot of us have remembered this yet, but we're in the process of doing just that and remembering so much more. This process will be greatly enhanced by, are you ready? Our willingness to be empty. To let go of the lies we've been brought up on. It's time to recognize that our textbooks are just so much bunk, with a light dusting of things closer to truth to lure us in. They are universally unworthy of belief. Okay, I hear some of you who have a love for science thinking, not really. Do consider that what science has been released to us is, I would say, at least 100 years behind what science they have that they've kept for themselves, the powers that were. Now, as beings inhabiting human form in 3D, it seems we simply must have beliefs. I don't know. Anyway, that's not the problem. We run into difficulties when we hold so tightly to our beliefs. We've been taught a certain falsehood concerning a concept called right and wrong. any rise in vibration quickly illumines the reality that there is no such thing as right and wrong. There is only good, better, and best. And maybe transcendent. I don't know. Simply everything brings blessing, no matter what. There is no wrong in that. If you went a way that wasn't fruitful for a time, then you were blessed by what you discovered in the process, and it was important, or you wouldn't have gone that way. If you share what you've learned, then that gives you the power to lighten others' loads as they learn from your wisdom which way not to go. So, it's blessing upon blessing, multiplying. That's how I see things work. Do you see them that way? Likely not. Well, why not? Will you choose to go within and ask these questions of your own higher self? Everyone's answers are within. The only thing we get from listening to others is hearing something that either resonates or it doesn't with our own heart. It illustrates that we already knew whatever it is that we just heard, but had simply forgotten. Now, sure, it's a massive job of forgetting that we've been through. It's really amazing. The mind boggles at such a concept that we could know so very much and then forget it so thoroughly. Well, that's okay. Just clear steer of the mind. Yes, get the bull out of your head, but also steer clear of the mind. Wrong tool for the job at hand. It's not the mind that's remembering. It's the heart. Well, I have a proposal for you. Since basically nothing we know is worth very much at the moment, then being empty is really not such a big deal. Do you see? In other words, what have you got to lose that's really worth much? In my experience, the answer is nothing. By emptying out, we become the gainers, not the losers. We gain by losing. It's an upside-down world here. It's strange to have your whole sense of reality tampered with. I'll give you that. Very strange. Still, what are your options? How valuable is more of the same to you? Are you really so happy with how things are now? Not many of us are. It's worth pondering. No need to rush. We've all heard how this is a time of major change. Well, and we're seeing more and more evidence of that as the years fly by. Even this one is just about over, a truly cosmic year, the big 2012. We could even say the stars are just right for it. The rising frequency and energy is carrying us along, so we're being assisted, not just by the energy, but by many unseen beings who've been here and with us all along. Our assistants are beings of great light. We need have no fear of them. For most of us, they are probably ancient family from long ago and far away. Elemental life in nature also constantly reaches out to bless us. They wonder why we don't care more about them, about our earth and our bodies. They just don't understand. Things are much clearer to most of them, simpler too. So, considering that the age itself is boosting our vibration upwards, and in addition we have all of this benevolent support, what the heck is happening? Why does everything seem to be in such a terrible mess? Well, follow me here. First, enter heart. Just center attention in the middle of your chest and do what you can to keep it there. And listen from there. It'll truly help you tune in. Why such a mess? It's what we've been programmed to create, first of all. We, each and every one of us, must look to self for why things have gone wrong. All of the causes, yes, every one, will be found within. There are no external causes. We are taking what is inside and quite naturally outpicturing that in what seems to be the outside world. Well, in reality, there is no such thing. No world outside. There is no outside in existence. It's really all happening within. We've been duped. We've been so thoroughly lied to that we've come to this state, to this point, to this seeming mess. And if we only look at the surface, yes, it is indeed a horrible mess. Okay, so we have all this help, right? I hope you can open mind and heart to this. It's important. I suggest it as a new consideration, a possibility, or even better yet, a belief. When you're ready for that, it's time to know that you are not and never have been alone at any time. Looks like I've got Parkinson's here. Oh well. No such thing. It's actually impossible. No one's ever alone. Do consider all is one and everything is quite thoroughly entangled. Many will be pointing mental fingers at the powers that were, at the Illuminati, at whatever guise we see the bad guys taking. I will grant you that some very unsavory types are more or less in charge, or at least they have been, of the external workings of our earth. Power is indeed consolidated in some very dark hands, maybe even some claws, huh? Heck, who really knows, right? It's not worth wasting much time on ferreting it out. That's largely been done for us as far as it can go just now. All we have to do is hit the internet and do the research, look up the researcher. To benefit from those great ones who have been diligently spending decades and their whole lives uncovering and documenting this mess. But don't let yourself get too far off into it. Why not? You run the risk of losing sight of the really important stuff, such as that we are the creators of the whole thing. Until we wake up to that, we won't be able to stop the nightmare. We'll still be trapped in the lies. This world is laced right now with endless lies. Well, it's time to come back to your native reality, the real deal. It's time now to remember your original identity, folks, and you are the divine. You are literal source beings, emanations of the Most High. But until we can quit both griping and blaming this and that for it all, we won't find our way out of this. That road just doesn't lead this way. Can you see Source sitting around griping and complaining all the time? Can you see her pointing fingers of blame and zapping the fools into kingdom come? What a ridiculous picture that makes. Well, Control-Alt-Delete that one, please. It's insane. Well, and who is really insane down here? I bet you already know. It's the people who think they're perfectly sane and that this reality is perfectly real. Are you still one of them? I thought not. I know the move from that to this that I'm sharing is rather huge. Like I said, we're talking about totally messing with people's reality here, and I get that. But hey, I had mine messed with too, you know. It's spooky and trippy, but also a lot of fun. A lot depends on your attitude, you know. Come on, look at this mess. Well, that's what we've got to lose. So, how fast do you want to lose it? Lightning fast, right? Well, as you're aware, things don't generally work out that way, though they're moving closer and closer to it as time appears to be collapsing. Time is shifting into something more real than our old time concepts. Those simply won't work. Toss them out. Fire the buggers. To move really fast, be a loser. Be willing to lose it all, the full contents of the mind. And you won't really lose it, of course, but it'll sure seem like that way at times. You'll start out with some really major rearranging. Your loyalties will shift. Your priorities will be all up in the air for a bit, and your definitions of things. But they'll all settle out great if you just let them. That's what I mean about letting go. These things know where they need to land. There's an inherent intelligence to all of life, even that which just looks like empty space. That's because all life is source, every bit of it. If we'd quit trying to manipulate and control so many things, we'd be a lot happier. Besides, look around. What has that gotten us? Surely it's time for a new way of being, to surrender and to allow. These will be the keynotes of this shift in our lives. To let go and to stop all this resistance to what life brings to us. You wouldn't think it was so difficult, but it can surely seem that way. The less trust we vest in what the mind says about things too, the faster we'll go. Mind's freaking out will only hold us back if we believe it. Now there's some food for thought. Surrender and allow. These are not ways we've been taught in this lifetime. Time to remember that we have any number of lifetimes on which we can call. It's a time of integration for all that. After all, each and every one of them is just as much me as this one, just as much you as that one. Are you getting the picture yet? How far are you spreading your virtual wings? You do have plenty of room for them. You are awesome and amazing. I'll close by sharing a line with you from my 12D Ancient Friends. They shared it with me last month on who and what we truly are. Buckle your seatbelts. Well, I think I'd like to make a larger gift. So, I will append to this journal a complete conversation we had, me and the 12D ETs, so that you may get the sense of their being, their energy. It's full of gems, but do be alert to hear what they say about us. In the conversation we shared previous to this one, after I told them that I loved them, this was part of their reply. Teresa Ann, if we let you feel even a tenth of how we love and regard you, the human body would fail under it. What a nice thought, huh? Let that sink in as you read the conversation that follows. My part aligns with the left margin. Theirs starts with the tab indent. So be sure to click over to scribed for this one, and I'm even going to add another link or two, I think, to make it more interesting yet. Talk to you again soon, I hope. This is from 10/4, and it was the first one of that day. The Mayan day was 4 wind, and it's got a I've added to it the promised conversation with the 12D ETs. It's not very long. I probably won't read it though. So you'll need to go click over to Scribed and check it out, see what you think. Powers that were have gone to a great deal of effort to convince us we're nothing. We're worthless accidents of chaotic happenstance. Yeah, wrong. Time to ditch that whole song. The whole thing strikes a terrible note, discordant as can be. Do you know when you hear a lie? Do you feel it? More time spent in heart or centered and you'll discover. Hi friends. Yeah, I'm a wizard or a magi or whatever you want to call me, I guess. I have a journal for you here that is more recent than the one I just recorded and uploaded. So it'll show you there's been some change. Okay, so here goes. Let me be sure I'm set up just right. All right. I'd like to share my heart and a few more links to some special videos that I hope will be a blessing for you. So let's see what comes forth. Now remember, I almost never know. So let's talk about emptiness. The vacancy from which the wonder of these journals originates. I'm not special, or more correctly, we are all tremendously special. So special we'll be shocked at first when we begin to find out, to remember, put ourselves back together. Are you ready to be special? Even that special? Well, mine doesn't handle this well. It's out of mine's league.